Morning, Goobers. I'm Eric Curious, and today we're here with Sylvia, who just got top 16 at, what was it? YCS
YCS
Columbus.
Colombus, yes.
And
YCS Colombus, yes.
we're gonna be sorta interviewing her while she does a deck profile. It's, of course, different from what I usually do, Earthbound and stuff. Well, she helped me with some training for the Bologna Open, so I decided to help her with this deck profile. Without any further ado, we'll start with a deck profile, then I'll ask some questions to her, and then just go from there. So, what did you play for the YCS?
So yesterday I played Radiant Typhoon, just a pure deck. And I played a lot of quick play spells, and I thought it was really fun. So I'll just get into it if you don't mind.
Yep.
Started with three Eldom. This is your best starter. You want to get your monsters into rotation so you can start making like monsters. This is Shield Bearer. You can banish him for those who don't know to search Eldom from your hand. He's just a free Eldom. I thinking that I should have played two of him. Just I didn't draw a starter sometimes, and I think just an extra one of him. Just don't change anything about the list otherwise. Would have been helpful. Um, three Swen. Obviously, you're going to max out on starters. We lost two champ on the ban list, which is unfortunate. About Swen specifically, if you can, you usually want to start with him because he plays around Troll the best. He searches a card that you can change to Troll. Just don't accidentally say, "Oh, Nerez activate this," or it'll change your one. We'll cry. Quick pressure, of course. I saw someone saying to play two of this, and I think that's insane. I don't think you should ever do that in this game. I mean, he gets anything and MS2 is a really good card. All right. Two Megalo here. The idea being we need more consistency to play the game, and this lets us either get a starter or it lets us get both of our boss monsters into rotation. Usually this one in your turn, and this one in your opponent's turn. These cards are great. They're your best defensive cards, usually. This just taking care of any problematic monster. Like I used it to negate a Golgolet that was trying to search Droplet one time. That was really good. Phonics to defend yourself from enemy bodies. You don't really want them overwhelming you and killing you. That's usually how you lose. So you definitely want to set this up if you can. Against Branded, you often want to hold this in your hand for your turn and then summon it on your opponent's turn after they've used Mirror Jig. So they can't banish it. And then you're good to go. Um, is there anything else to really say about the engine? I don't think there is. It's just you want to play as many as you can so that you see them. Maybe play a second field there. As for the quick play engine spells, we need three vision. Again, we need to draw as many cards as we can. We need to see everything. The one champ, we need to play more if we could. And then I played, this is strange, I played three Ascendants. You could play two. I opted for three because I thought it was just really solid to search MST game one. And then I could just side it out for ratios, right? For whatever I needed and get two or three. And my deck list would look clean. This is also a great top deck in the late game. So the longer the game goes, the more value you get out of having more of these, as opposed to Chant, which you draw late game and you're kind of like, this is kind of grody. I have to like search Swen and then get a sentence, and that's like kind of vulnerable, right? But otherwise, you can just create a sentence, get Crochet, trigger anything that goes in your possession, and you're really good to go. You're really good to go. Three MST, and it's the heart and soul of the deck. This never got Solemn reported. I only had to activate it into a set card one time, and it wasn't Solemn, so that's good. Um, I would say definitely do play around it. One time I did spin back a guy's two back row, uh, and I don't know if it was Solemn, but it easily could have been. So I definitely tried to play around that as best as I could. Um, yeah, don't lose all your MSVs. You need these to play the game because this deck, what it really does when you play it is you just kind of search a lot of ammunition for your Phonics and your Varroon to both come back and spin and to summon off Megalon. You just search a lot of ammunition, and the ammunition really is the MSTs, right? So that's what you want to do. Is you're going to use MST to create advantage by looping these cards. Right. So for non-engine, well, first of all, we have three extra. I think this is absolutely mandatory. I think you need to draw cards. That's like the main thing about this deck now, post the ban list, is that if you're not drawing like a lot of cards, you're just not gonna see engines. You're gonna lose games.
Hold it. One
So
small thing about extra. Did you ever banish something super important, like for example stuff for FMV, Fallen the Virtuous, off of extra?
So I did actually. There was one game where I went second. I went first action pot of extra. I drew two FNV and I looked at my extra deck and all of my targets were gone. And I just conceded. I was just like, we're just gonna go to game three.
Wait,
We're just not playing
was
this.
that a feature match or was that another game?
That wasn't the feature. In the feature match, I activate this, it gets ashed, and then I vision straw and I hit mandate in Varun and then get drolled. It was really bad. Yeah, I
I'm
hit
asking
these
this
super.
just because the written feature match did not mention when you scooped. It just said you scooped instantly to preserve
Okay,
time.
I scooped it before we side decked. I said, I okay. We finished the game, and I looked at the judge who's sitting there watching our match, and I said, "Can I concede now? Is that something I can do? Can we side for game three?" And
Oh,
then she was like, "I suppose you can."
oh my God.
And then I said, we sided, and I was like, "Okay, I'm going first."
Wait, is that why the opponent had the accusation in the side going second, or was that just?
No, actually. So I asked him about that. The idea was that our game one took like five turns. So if he ever resolves accusation of amnesty, which he's going second, so why would I ever suspect that, right? He'll
Oh,
win the game. But he had to discard it for something, I think, like a droplet or opening. So it never resolved. Um, and it was
that
not a
makes
problem.
sense.
But yes, that's uh, mandate. I mean, there's not much to say about this other than it's not once per turn. So you can actually boost twice. I
Huh.
did that to Christian Urena to out his dogma. That's how I got rid of it.
I have first-hand
I shuffled back
experience,
Bard.
unfortunately.
Yeah, this card's funny. So yeah, you can draw two cards in one turn. If you want. You can actually. I don't know if there's a third way to get it on field, but in theory you could draw it. Uh, for non-endurance, you can just have a direction. First card is gonna be three Forbidden Crown. Is what that is. Three Forbidden Crown. This is the best card you could draw going first. It stuns like a lot of decks full turns. Something I did to one guy was he goes normal Rico effect. I SP8, he chains KDS, I chain Crown. Now he misses his KDS summon. My SP banishes itself, but not his card, and he doesn't search. So he like adds a rotary to his hand, and looks at his hand, and he's like, wait, I have rotary plus one hand trap. So he summons the rotary, uh, summons Trackmaker, searches the JJ. I have no hand, he can't search off rotary. Searches JJ, and I just MST'd it when he tripped. It's that easy. It was literally that easy. And I just beat him with SP control. Um, he was really nice though. Anyway, so to go with the crowns, because it's not like the best breaker in the world going second, we are gonna play Droplet. You see crown next to Droplet, you're in an amazing position. The first or second, you don't care. So these two cards are extremely synergetic with each other, and I think that like you kind of should be running them in most decks like together. So that's really my opinion on this one. I think these cards are really important for interacting with Cool Tier in particular, and even if they see them, it doesn't really matter. Like these cards always get value, even if you're playing them.
Is there anything you would recommend over Crown maybe for someone with a tight budget?
I'm gonna say no. I think Crown is absolutely staple this format and like needs to be played. I wish there were like Book of Eclipse is the best secondary, and that can just get ashed or like negated by Zalin,
Oh,
and
that's
just kind of
true.
like low key can't like. Actually, I guess it's the same with Zalin. You can just chain this. That's what you do. So speaking of Zalin, when you're trying to break like cool tune boards, usually what you do is you either droplet or crown. They find some way out of the restriction, and then you chain this thing to whatever they chain, so that they either have to negate this or lose their zone. You target the Zalin, right? And that works like usually consistently. I think it's like mathematically guaranteed to work, actually. So that's pretty cool. That works. You just fall on target Zalin in response to their like clip or their remix or whatever they changed to your target, and you're good to go. Now the last non-engine card, I think this is like really important to play in this deck in particular. It's a draw card. Of course it is, right? We don't have engine. So when you go second, the idea here, what we're doing with this deck is we're trying to show Cool Tune a hand they literally can't use. And one of the best ways to do that is just to resolve. even if it's on top of your deck, it's still good. I did Dominant Couch. That's how I won game one. Is I fluid him, and then he put a fluid on top of my deck. I fluid him again, and he's just like, I mean, I guess you draw like more. I was, yeah, and then I like drew extra off it and eating the draw phase with people. Yeah. So that was good. I had Droplet in my hand too, and I just kind of held onto it for a while. So we had to play around it the whole game, and then it got value, I think, for his RS. Uh, these cards are really good. That's how I feel about all three of these, and Fua. And I think that like if you're playing this deck, you probably should be playing all these. You'll notice no Sheena. I just don't think that card wins the game if you don't against Skulton, right? Like if I draw this against Skulton or I draw this against Skulton, I can actually just kind of win that game by using like FNV or maybe even MS2 to stop the Zalin, right? But I felt like if I drew Sheena, like first of all, I could establish a body, and that's already my biggest choke point is just like the first body being established. So at that point, even if I Sheena it back, if it got negated, I'm not like winning. That's not like a winning game for me. So definitely wanted to play more aggressive non-engine. That always works. Oh, so for the extra deck, first of all, we have I showed them earlier my FND targets. Definitely played three because we're playing extra. Um, you definitely need all of the cards that are in here. Like genuinely, like I wouldn't cut a single card in this extra deck. Is what I'm gonna say about it. So first of all, three bar. If you banish two of these off of Extravagance, the third one you can just shuffle it back with Kershaw whenever you want. So you definitely want to play three of this. Just you only need one, but if you could banish two, like it happens pretty often. Uh, two Wind Armor. You don't absolutely need this, but it's really nice to have access to just to like crash, add Phonics, or add Megala. I did that a lot today. Just crash this, add Megala. Or not today, but yesterday I did twice. I crashed this thing, add Megala from your deck, get Varun out, and usually it depends on what's going on, but usually Varun plus an MST, if the Varun destroys, is more than enough to stop like the third turn from Pool Team. Just because like you kind of dropleted them at some point, so they lost a bunch of resources trying to like extend through that. Especially if they like make back to back and you FND it, you just win the game instantly. Stuff like that. Right? So yeah, use this late to get a Megalo, get into that Varun one I was talking about, get an MST with your mandate, and you're good to go. So for the link monsters that we can like climb into, we have Great Flag. So this helps us deal damage. It also helps us hit over towers like Liger Dancer and the other one, Dogma. You can also crash it to add back from Grave, so it's like a third wind charmer almost. So makes it pretty hard for us to run out. It can back any wind also. So if you have Droll, you can crash this to loop it. If you have a Liger Dancer and you banish your Liger Dancer out off of Extra, you can just keep crashing this until they run out of targets, because this will boost your Phonics enough to hit into the Liger Dancer, so every time you attack, they have to blow it up. And then when it dies, it can add any wind, it's a wind, so you just add itself back, and you just keep doing that. Just loop your Great Fly until they're out of targets in the extra deck, and then, like, Loki doesn't even matter how many Ligers they have. If they run out of targets, they run out of targets, right? So you just keep putting up defensive bodies to try to win the game. It can be kind of hard when they have like a lot of cards, so you want to keep them off as many cards as possible, and something Crocious specifically, and you want to play keep away with their back row so they can't wipe the Crocious off. That's like how you beat Lunalight with this deck. It's pretty effective. So that's Great Flag. The other ones are Doom Eagle and Ulti Ray Rotari. I guess I'll go through these separately because they're really different. Doom Eagle is for branded. You just want to like summate and start spinning things out of the grave. In my feature match, my written one, I hit a Dogma like really early in the turn, and then I just protected the Doom Eagle all day. And then way later in the duel, I hit like an Ecclesia, I hit like a bunch of stuff with it, right? So you just get like triple value out of this if you can keep it in place. So against branded, keeping this up is really strong and important. So the next thing is Ulterior Target. So this card is my go-to end board card specifically because of the new Doom's Power Patron, the Pendulum. If they scale that card and kind of look at you, your options are actually really bad in this deck, because if you blow it up, it's going to float. If you try to negate it, they can kind of just chain crown on you and get double value. And if you like don't check it, it outs an interaction and summons. Like it's like a problem card. It's like a really big problem card. So, but it's on a outs an interaction and gets them a start as it pops. Um, so you can just Ray Rotari it. Like you can literally summon Ray Rotari and banish it. That's what this card does. It targets a card on the field and banish it. So you can just wait for them to scale the Doom's card, wait for them to activate it, activate Ray Rotari. Response. Oh, Crown. Chain of the big target Ray Rotari. So, cool. Okay. Um, yeah. So you just banish the Doom's guy. Try to negate it if they put it on the field, and then if you crown that, that's really good. If you crown like a moth, that's also really good. Stuff like that. Cool. As for the rank threes, I didn't make these very often just because, I mean, they're kind of niche. I was trying to make Atari for that reason, so I just niched, so I didn't really make these that this, I didn't play against Light, but this negates Liger Dancer. If you don't know, it changes the effect, which affects Liger Dancer for no reason. So that's useful. Uh, and then this card is really good. I used it one time for its intended use, which is that sometimes you want a spell negate while you have both 3 quick plays engraved and mandate up. So your field will look like this. And what'll happen is they'll lead either like Lightning Storm or some spell starter, right? And you'll chain the Totem Bird. They'll try to train Droplet, sending like spells and stuff, and you'll just go, okay, Mandate, shuffle back, chain MST, and then they so often don't have another quick play. So you're just like, okay, negate the Droplet, this goes through, negate your spell, and you're good to go. You're good to go. Even though they had Breaker Droplet, you still win the game, right? Because you have your full board with like 5. That's what Totem Bird's for. It's like that in particular. It's kind of the only. Either that, or if they have like a back row sitting there, you have 2 level 3s, and just make Totem Bird and be like, oh, you lose. Now for the utility cards, we played SP and Typhoon. This, I don't think I won any games by summoning it. I summoned it like once, and my opponent was like, I'm gonna blow it up. So you got it. This card was great. This I summoned quite a bit to do a whole bunch of things. Like I was banishing stuff out of the graveyard with it. I summoned it to pressure my opponent turn 1 when I got hand trapped. Like if my Crochet got belled after my Eldum searched it, then I would make this and just kind of sit on it. And that was pretty effective. This thing, if you have any wind next to it, will become a wind charmer, and then you can crash that, and you're good to start playing. So just if you can play SP control for a little bit, draw even like a food weapon, you're good to go. That's the whole extra deck. Really. Not much else to say about it. Now for the side deck, I really like this side deck, but also I think I might cut one of the lightning storms. Kind of dragged too much, but it was a really good card. Anyway, 3 Lava Golem. This card's amazing. Like most of the time, you hand this to your opponent, and they're just like, "Oh, I lose this round." I see. I don't like have much else to say about it other than like it's
Did
just like high
it
roll.
fuck up your normal summons? Sometimes.
It like didn't, but it like could. Although I would still play this. I think like the odds of that happening are pretty low, and especially usually when you sight it in, you sight it in next to these cards, and these clear all the back row. And once
And
they don't have back
also,
row, you don't need to normal summon. They're all
well, you
rescues.
do have like 10 copies of MST plus draw spells to get into it, so your monsters should be live, right?
That is true, but remember we have to draw it next to a monster, so we have to draw all 3,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
a little bit sketchy. So you are right about that, but that's like why these help is that we need to draw like everything else. We also need to not get solemn reported, so you need to play this to through that. Really important. Yeah, so that's these. Most of the time, I would either side in just these or these plus Droll. Let's just talk about Droll next. This card's fantastic. It's a cross-out target as well. Um, but like generally, like there are a few decks that just do use to this card, and so by not playing this card, every time you get paired against one of those decks, you're missing an opportunity for a free win, right? Like I rolled a striker player, he called by it, and I built it. See, he could see. Like he lost. Like took me a few minutes, but he lost. Right.
Do you do
So
think Droll is main deck worthy in this format?
I would say no, mainly because if a smart Cool Tune player plays against you and they have like a good hand, they're just gonna go normal summon rotary, make track maker, search two, and you're gonna draw them, go -1. They're gonna look at your hand, and you're gonna lose. You're just gonna lose that. Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
I would say, yeah, if you main draw, you have the potential to throw games against Cool Tune. I also don't think
Although,
it's good against branded. I don't side it against branded. I think it's like okay against branded. I just think they can do a lot under it, and usually if you resolve this card, you want to kind of win the game on the spot.
although as a cross target, I should do that.
It's a crossout target. Yeah, so this card is good, but I never ever side it with Molcharmies. I don't care. This card doesn't negate Molcharmies in my deck. Called by negates Molcharmies, which is nice, and so does Ash. So the only other crossout targets I play are Ash and Bell. The idea being just like Cool Team plays all of them, and yeah, Cool Team's playing every like hand trap under the sun, and everyone's playing Cool Team. So we need to just like side in cards for going first that keep me from getting like screwed. So if you saw my feature match, you'll see when I went first, I literally just Ash the Molcharmy, cross out a Droll, and now they're down 2 cards, so I just like set 4 past, even though I like banished all my good Link monsters off of Extra. Like I thought I had this in deck, and my hand like wasn't great, but it could end on it. I don't know if I even should have done that. I think I should have probably just searched MS2 fast, but it's okay. That is really the whole deck. I mean, there were some side pattern things. Like often I would be siding a lot of cards, and I would like take out Ascendance to compensate. Ascendance in like one of the Megalas. Often the Shield Bearer too, going second. But then going first, I would put everything except the Ascendance back. So
All
I would
right.
just take out Ascendance for one.
You did mention you wanted to cut one of the lightning storms. What else would you have considered to play instead of that?
Um, just some engine card for going first. Like literally anything. Could be tanky. Could be I don't even know. It could be the other quick play, the one that nails. That could have been helpful. Just
Oh,
something to go first to help me get unbricked. Probably a
are
shield
people
bearer.
playing
Maybe
Ghost
that's where the
Ogre
extra shield
actually?
bearer could go. One ghost ogre. I don't think that's necessary. I just don't think it synergizes with my game plan. Right? Like I don't usually side these lower impact hand traps in going second,
That
and
makes
then
sense.
these two are crossout targets, and then Ash is just like really good behind your board. Right? Like I beat Jesse Cotton. What happened really was like I went first game one. I end up winning the game. Just played well, and then game two, I draw my starters, whatever. Game three, I just kind of ash brand fusion, and he was like, "Oh, my hand's really bad now." Like he didn't say that, obviously, he's really good, but that was like the vibe that he was giving off. It's just like, "Oh no, my hand's really bad now." But,
Right, that's about it for the deck profile. We can get into some questions, right?
yeah, absolutely.
All right, so starting with what are your thoughts about Radiant Typhoon post the ban list? And did you miss any your starters? Did you want to play more shield bearers and more tankies?
Yes. Yes. That's what I want. I think I could have even cut this for a shield bearer, although I think that would have been wrong. I think the correct cut is one of the lightning storms should be shield bearer, because it would have made the side patterns a lot easier. Like often I was siding out an F and B, which is just like a little redundant, you know. Like I could just draw that F and B and it would be almost as good. So this could have been shield bearer for going first, and then maybe I wouldn't have bricked like game three as many times, you know. That was what happened in 2 of my rounds. Was I just bricked game three? I was just like, oh, cool.
Next, what about Super Poly? Did you consider it? Did you think you could have played it?
So yes, I was testing Super Quali for pretty much until the ban list hit. I thought it was really good into pretty much everything except like a really smart Dooms player that would make Drastrius on their own. Um, that though worried me. That in particular, and then also at the same time they put where is it? Chant to one. Ah, why did they do this to me? Okay, so they put Chant to one, so I have to play Extra, right? I'd be an idiot not to. All right, now that I play
Oh,
Extra,
true.
if I Extra draw Spally, it's dead and I can't discard it off visions.
Like, it makes sense to play Fallen the Virtuous because you just have the same target the 3 times.
Yeah.
But with Super Poly, you can't do that.
Yes, yeah. So as long as I have literally any one of these cards, I can at least FMP once. And if I have an Albion plus Ecclesia, I can FMP infinite times, as long as I keep trying. Right. So
Next
that was not a
is,
problem. The spotlight definitely would have been a problem, so I couldn't play it. It's unfortunate.
did you face any Nibiru? And if you didn't, did you get greedy with your combo lines?
I have like a deep respect for Nibiru. I think that if you're not respecting Nibiru, you're playing the game a little bit wrong. So I did play the lines to what I would do would be put Megala on the field, put Proscia in the hand, and that's summon four, and then activate a quick play, trigger both at the same time, and summon for with an MST Ignite or something. So usually, in my feature match, even my written feature, I MST'd my own mandate to put the MST in grade and trigger both, right? And that gets you into everything around the beard. And then if it was ever like vague what I should do, and the question was should I play around the beard or should I play around the Doom's Pend card that I mentioned earlier and make Raritari, I always made Raritari. So that's the answer to that question.
That makes sense. On to what? How did you feel about Qtune? People really don't like that deck, and really were like talking as if it was gonna completely ruin the format. What did you think about it?
So I will say that the experience of playing against Cooltoon was a lot more fun than I expected it to be. Especially when you're not testing and you're actually playing. The fact that your opponent genuinely has to remember what's in your hand is it becomes a factor, and you can kind of how do I even put this? The more cards you play in sequence, the harder it becomes for them to remember, and because they're trying to remember, the harder it becomes for them to play the game. So when you play like that, they tend to misplay, which helps. Um,
Oh,
and then yes, and then also okay, what I didn't like about Cool Team though is what it did to my deck building. All of a sudden, I can't play Sheena because I can't like let them see it and then just play around it the whole game. That's a problem, right? And I also can't like play hand traps. They just don't work properly. Like there's like no amount of Ashen Q that's gonna help if they just discard it rotary. I just lose lane it's done. So I can't like do any of that. So what I had to do was what I mentioned earlier, which was play all these breakers that help me pressure the synchros that they're looping into, and then just kind of play around the great effects as best I could at the same time.
what about some other matchups? You mentioned earlier how Doom Z was something you were worried about, but what about the other stuff?
So I played against Art Mage, and I didn't know that you could non-finito from hand. So I lost that
Oh,
game. I was a little bit sad. I didn't know that. I just didn't know that. I read the card and just missed that. So that's my fault. I accept that. Um,
that's something to note.
yeah, that is what happened there. I also played against RB, one of the coolest lists I've ever seen, and he was like looping Sky Striker Ace Rose with like Cyanos and stuff. It was kind of amazing. Um, and that was it. I mean, the deck is kind of really good against Road, but ironically, I lost my two Road matchups, which is funny. Right.
Oh, right. Branded. How did you feel about Branded, especially in your feature match?
So, okay, granted, when you play the matchup over the board, like with the clock running, both players have to like blitz the entire time. You cannot slow down, right? If your opponent slows down, you can yell at them to speed up, and they will be happy that you yelled at them because they don't want double loss either. So, when playing against Brandon with this deck, it takes forever to get out of game one. That's like what happens is you sit down and you play like this obscenely grindy game one and you have to wait. If you lose it, low key just concede the whole match. There's like no point because they're just gonna go first game three, and you're either gonna time out or you're gonna lose. Um, but the same thing is kind of true in the opposite perspective. So what you do is no matter what happens to the first game, you concede the next one, basically. I mean, obviously, you wouldn't actually concede if you lost game one. You would let them play and then see what happens. But
Like, if you
if
went
you
on the
win game
play.
one, if you win game one against Brandon in this format with Radiant Typhoon, I want you to concede without siding and just go first. Right? Like if that actually happened against a good Branded player, that took 30 minutes. Okay, you do not have 30 minutes. You have to go first. You have to play the game now,
That's the
right?
strategy behind just the insta scoop. That makes a lot of
That yes,
sense.
that is why I did it. Like there's nothing else you can do. Oh, and then I played against Jesse Cotton on Breaker Tail. Um, I don't
Uh,
really know what to say about that. It was like weird. It was really weird. In that I guess he just didn't draw like one of the good Draco Tail hands and drew like one of the weird hands. Because like he just went opening pitch sting, and I like maybe people were like responding to stuff like that, but I don't do that. So he like summons Ogre, and I'm just like sure. And he goes like branded fusion, and I just like think about it for a second and like negate it. And he's just like yeah. Well, um, what else are you gonna do? And he goes like ball baz, and I'm just like crown. I'm just like like I don't know. I mean, that was a weird game. So that was another rogue. I said this deck is good against rogue, and he won the event, but it was still like a rogue deck. Right? Like people weren't playing it, and that's kind of what I mean. It's just like there are games where you just sweep anyone. It doesn't matter if it's Jesse Cotton. I mean, this deck is good against rogue decks.
do you have any other opinions on the format? Do you think it's healthy?
I think it's extremely healthy. Actually, I think it's really really wide. I think you can kind of play whatever you want, whatever you have. Um, I do think a lot of the worst decks, like the thing that makes them worse is the brickier, which I kind of don't like that aspect of it, but honestly, it's kind of a good way to balance things, right? From a certain perspective, where like if in the hands where you're drawing good, the games are just really really even and back and forth. So I think that's good about the format. I think Fairy Tale Snow is scary, and I'm not looking forward to when new support releases and people figure out how to mill that with like shooting Quasar or anything like that. I'm not looking forward to that.
Shooting
Uh,
Quasar?
is that the wrong card? There's maybe
No,
shooting
no.
rivalry. One of
It's.
them builds snow. Anyway,
Oh my god.
yeah,
Okay, it is shooting Riser, but like, are
yeah.
people doing that? Huh?
People used to do that. People used to do that all the time,
I
just
mean, yeah,
because
they.
snow's weird.
Oh my god, I thought in actual Fairy Tale and I got really confused. Where are they
No,
getting the
no,
level 3 tuner?
no. Yeah, it was a punk tech. People were doing.
Okay.
Anyway, that's like it. I just think snow is a little scary for the future. I think they should probably ban it again once Fairy Tale's not like new. So yeah, that's all. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I see ya. Peace.